In 1946, the legendary mathematician Paul Erdos posed a puzzle about planar unit distance. For nearly 80 years, human mathematicians tried to map out the exact geometry to solve it, and for 80 years, the problem remained open. Then, OpenAI's internal model, widely believed to be GPT-Next, tackled the conjecture. It didn't rely on a specialized math system. By using inference time reasoning to pause and compute longer, it discovered a completely new geometric family of constructions. It output roughly 125 pages of original mathematical logic that fully disproved the open problem. This chart compares the two timelines. You have 8 decades of human trial and error on the left. On the right is the AI's success metric. Generating those pages took roughly 32 hours, and compute costs ran under $1,000. The creation of original knowledge marks a new frontier for general models. These systems are now producing insights that were previously absent from the human record, moving the technology into the realm of autonomous discovery. This level of cognitive capability is drawing an enormous amount of capital. Anthropic, the company behind the Claude models, just posted its Q2 financials. They reported $10.9 billion in quarterly revenue, more than doubling their previous quarter, and they achieved their first ever operating profit of $559 million. That kind of profit requires massive physical hardware. Anthropic is scaling up its hardware infrastructure to meet this demand, locking in a compute partnership with SpaceX that is reportedly worth $15 billion per year. This graph shows exactly how they achieved that profitability. While the bars show their revenue doubling, this descending line represents their compute efficiency. Anthropic dropped the compute cost required to earn a single dollar from 71 cents down to 56 cents. Anthropic's move into profitability suggests that frontier AI has transitioned into a functional utility. With billion-dollar hardware commitments and increasing compute efficiency, these systems are beginning to operate as the mission-critical plumbing for corporate infrastructure. But as this intelligence scales, the companies building it are aggressively pushing autonomous agents onto users, often bypassing consent entirely. Take Google's launch of Antigravity 2.0. They rolled out this agent-first platform as an automatic update. When developers booted up their computers, their entire integrated development environment, the crucial application where they actually write code, was wiped out. In its place was a single conversational prompt box. The update silently overwrote existing installations. Users lost their code editors, their chat histories, and all their custom settings. To make matters worse, installing the legacy version simply redirected them back to the new chatbot. The only way to fix it was a complete manual purge of all the anti-gravity files from their entire machine. Google framed this as a transition, but for the developers affected, it was a forced migration. It highlights a growing tension where tech companies prioritize pushing their AI platforms over respecting the actual workflow of the user. That frustration is spilling over into everyday communication. An organized pushback is forming against what people are calling AI slop, the endless walls of unedited, machine-generated text flooding professional emails, social media, and forums. Major institutions are already reacting to this flood of low-effort output. Harvard University faculty recently voted to cap A grades at 20% of undergraduates, starting in the fall of 2027. They explicitly cited concerns about AI making it too easy for students to churn out high-scoring coursework. The Agent Atlas study shows agent accuracy drop significantly as instructions become more descriptive. When explicitly given exact tasks, performance plummeted by up to 40 percentage points. But in the peak performance zone, agents inferred tasks from context. Over-explaining the job made the machine worse. The no-slop movement and Harvard's new grading policy reflect a highly specific desire for human quality over machine-generated volume. These shifts suggest that the value of an output is becoming tied to the level of human curation behind it. To escape the restrictions and costs of corporate AI, a community of developers is building their own local infrastructure. Budget AI builders are now salvaging APU chips from old PlayStation 5 consoles, unlocking the compute units to run large AI models at high speeds directly on their own hardware. At the enterprise level, the infrastructure is maturing just as fast. Platforms like Daytona are now spinning up 850,000 remote sandboxes every single day on bare metal servers. These sandboxes launch in exactly 60 milliseconds. Instead of running code on the local laptop, developers are connecting AI agents to these persistent remote environments via API. This shifts the entire development model. Agents are moving from simple chatbots that exist in a browser tab to integrated workers operating inside mission-critical plumbing. The value is moving away from the raw intelligence of the model and into the ecosystem of skills around it. Tools like Datasette Agent are proving this out by letting users type natural language questions to generate complex SQL queries and charts directly from their databases. Or take Andrej Karpathy's coding principles. By simply dropping a single curated text file into a project, developers are instantly forcing their AI agents to prioritize simplicity and goal-driven execution over reckless coding. We know what happens when companies ignore these guardrails. Starbucks recently deployed a fully autonomous AI system to handle their store inventory. After 9 months of struggling, they quietly scrapped the entire project. The system was supposed to predict demand and automate restocking. Instead, it consistently miscounted stock levels, creating a cycle of shortages and wasted product. It failed because it operated without a human safety net to catch its operational mistakes. The most successful operators are using a framework called briefing. They treat the AI not as a junior employee making final decisions, but as a senior partner that requires a structured 6-field assignment to produce useful work. The technology has achieved mathematical breakthroughs, but it also generates endless slop. Navigating this shift requires a deliberate approach. AI output is a highly capable first draft. The final product still requires human agency.